got this awesome lineup of trikes here today, and before we head into that, I wanted to start with the pilots here, which are, tell us a little about your pilot here.
This is the 89 FL400 Pilot, stock engine, aftermarket pipe, for the most part stock, but front bumpers, Honda line front and rear bumpers, that's about it.
It's pretty badass. Love the big ITP tires. You going to send it today?
I'm going to try.
All right, good. All right, to the next one here. This one looks pretty radical. It's got Fox shocks. Tell us a little bit about this one.
How you doing? This is a 85 FL350R. It's a stock chassis, but most of it's been reworked. It has a far off-road front suspension, which comes off the TRX 450R quad. Some Foxworth shocks. It's got a 440 swapped Articat motor, liquid cooled.
That's a two-stroke, right?
It's a two-stroke.
How many horsepower is that thing?
It's about 50 horse.
50 horse.
Yeah.
I heard this. Rumor has it this thing will wheelie.
Possibly.
We want to
check it out
today.
today.
You going to send it?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, awesome. We'll check back with you later. So, Dustin, this is tell us a little bit. I know you've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in the revival of the 70s here, and you're totally obsessed with them. Tell us a little bit about this one.
So a while back, I had a buddy of mine trade me a 110 and this thing for 200X, and it had a cart axle in it. I went ahead and did some disc brakes, and I made the seat hinge so you could get out a kicker, and I put an LT50 tank on it, and then at the museum event, Chelsea here decided that she wanted to take it out for some hot laps. So
That's your daughter, right?
that's my girlfriend's daughter.
Your girlfriend's daughter.
And you know, she got on it.
Hi, Chelsea. How you doing?
I'm good.
So you sent it at the race?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
It was pretty good. At first, I didn't really know what I was doing.
I heard you podiumed on your first race. Is that true?
Yeah.
Way to go, girl.
Thank you.
All right. Keep ripping it. Send it. So you got the kids into this now, too, so you're getting the next generation hooked on them, huh?
Yeah, we got the girls racing.
What's the scoop of the motor on this thing, Dustin?
That's a 3-valve Takagawa head on a Katako 88 jug on a CRF 50 bottom. Somebody had to die grind out the inner cases to get that connecting rod to spin.
I know it rips. At the event at the Spencer Fairgrounds, it looked to me like you're doing about 70 miles an hour on this thing. What's the top speed on this thing?
I think it's geared down quite a bit to maybe about 50. It might have looked a little quick because it's so small. But
you guys are ripping, hitting the turns tapped.
Yeah,
sliding. That was awesome.
This thing really likes to be tapped. I know that.
What's this? This is a try.
That's a little tri-zinger there. That's something that we temporarily have Sydney riding right now until we get her 70.
Awesome.
And this is actually my 7-year-old daughter's machine. She was happy to loan it out to see Sydney ride it.
Excellent. And then as we go up the line here, what is this one here?
Now this one belongs to Bart Nicolo. This one's pretty hopped up. It's got a pipe on it. He did some port work.
That's a two-stroke, right?
This is a little two-stroke. Yeah,
What year?
This thing rips, I think. Hey Bart, what year on this one?
In order to expedite it, we're gonna
84, 85.
85. And what year is this? This is pretty trick looking. This is 70.
This is Vinny Staffa, the owner of the Honda Hoarders page. This was his first 70. This thing's gone from stock to modified, and I think he's planning on going back to stock.
Carbon fiber, everything. That's pretty badass.
That's carbon fiber.
Is that a
And
70
this
also?
is a 74, I believe.
Wow, 1974. Looks pretty much original.
73. That's a 1973 there. This is a 1984 Christmas special.
Wow, those are really rare, aren't they?
Really rare.
Are they as rare
rare
as the two-wheel version, the chrome one? 'Cause
Yes.
I've heard those bring it up to 11 grand each at auction.
As far
Brand
as
new.
I know, Preston could probably answer it better. Do you know the production numbers on these?
On the Christmas
Well,
special?
the story goes Honda made one per dealership, and they had to be raffled or given away around Christmas time, 1983.
It matches your shirt, man.
Thank you.
That's pretty badass. Nice shirt. That's the Honda Hoarders website shirt. If you're not a friend of the page, like it, Honda Hoarders. Vinny Staffa actually started that this year, I think.
Yep.
In February, and he's got over 20,000 subscribers, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable. So
Production numbers are probably around 1,800. So, but you'll see a lot of
that's a really rare.
a lot of
piece,
clones or those.
What's one? Like I said earlier, a Christmas special mini bike. I've seen them bring 22 grand for two of them in a crate at an auction, brand new. That's 11 grand a piece. What's this worth in brand new in a crate if you could find one?
Oh my gosh, I
It's
wouldn't
almost
even be able to
priceless,
put a
right?
number on it. But
Yeah.
in nice clean condition, probably 3,000. This one would be 15 to 1,600 probably
Easily.
as it sits.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be a bargain. What about this one here? This one's pretty clean.
That's owned by a buddy of mine. That's an 84, and obviously that is not a stock headlight on it. There were kits that you could get put on it, but this isn't stock. But that's a nice clean 84.
Nice, nice. We got a little 50cc, little beginner one, little two-stroke.
think that's actually the smallest three-wheeler ever made.
Is this yours?
Yeah, it's an 82 Suzuki. That's a Survivor. Those are the original tires, original seat, original
Wow.
tank. I do have another reproduction front fender, but I didn't have a decal for it.
It's almost 40 years old. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, that thing's old.
I think your girlfriend was saying this was her favorite. Is this the one that was her favorite?
Yeah, she won't let me sell it. I thought about selling it at first.
Now that's a
It's
cool
Suzuki,
girlfriend that
but-
doesn't want you selling your trikes.
Yeah.
She's a keeper.
Yep.
Awesome. So wasn't the trike?
This is an 84 too. This is another Survivor.
Yep.
It's got all original tires, original seat, bar pad. It still has the safety tether on the back here for your kid.
Pretty badass. That's a two-cycle, right?
Two-stroke 60.
It looks
yep.
like it looks similar to the Yamaha GT80 engine they put in the mini bikes.
You can take one out of Champ MJ50 scooter, and it's actually a two-speed. I'd like to find one of those and put it in.
This is another one of Dustin's rippers right here.
That's Dustin.
This is like we're getting serious over here. This is when I watch these guys ride these, I'm like, man, somebody's gonna get hurt if they don't slow it down a bit. They fucking
this one we
oops.
decided to take
Edit
it
out
to
the
the
swearing.
next level on
They
this
swear
one.
they send it on this.
We went with the card axle hubs, the 140 motor with the oil cooler, and the BW80 front end. This was the next step after the 3-valve motor, and I'd like to try to compete with this gentleman here. This is TJ.
That motor
What-
looks heavy duty.
What he's got here is the
That looks
most
serious.
serious 70 around New England area right now.
What-
This is a 190 motor.
That's a
TJ, what can
Daytona-
you tell us about
That's a
this?
Daytona motor, huh?
It is a Daytona 190. It's just built for flat track. I've got a custom built axle to turn left.
You won't believe how fast these guys go on these things. They're serious. They beat the big quads on these all the time.
Yep, I've raced 450s and it's pretty competitive.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I tell you, the first time I heard one of these run, I pride myself on being able to pick a motorcycle out just by the sound. Like I hear a bike, I can tell you what it was. And I figured, 250F, hopped up, come at motocross bike. And then he rides up comes around the corner on this. I'm like, holy shit. He's got a 250 wedged in there, but it's actually a 190 Daytona. Is that a 4-valve head or
It is a 4-valve head.
4-valve head? Wow. Did it bolt right into the 70 frame?
Bolted right up.
Is there any problems with stress on the frame since you're producing like probably 5 times more horsepower than it originally was engineered
I
for?
haven't had any issues with it so far.
It's amazing. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see these guys rip it. So we're gonna do a little flat track here out in the field. They're gonna drag race them. You get to see them in action. What's this one here? Whose is this?
This is a YX 160 motor and a 70 frame. We made it 3 inches longer, 6 inches wider, and I like to try and keep up with him.
That's pretty nasty. I love the tank, man. Where'd you get the tank on it?
The tank is actually off of, now I'm on the spot,
It's beautiful.
a Honda Ape 100 that they only sold in Japan, and it covers the 3-inch stretch well, in my opinion. You don't end up
Yeah.
with a weird space up
No,
here.
if you didn't
between
tell
the
me, I
seat.
wouldn't know it was stretched.
Yeah, it looks fairly stock. That's
Yeah,
why.
so your
that's why I
wheelbase is
went
about 3 inches longer
about
than his.
3 inches longer.
Gives you a little more
Should
stability
be.
when you're doing 65 down the
A little
back
more
straightaway.
stability, and then we have 85 Survivor, 84 Survivor, an 84 with some aftermarket plastics and wheels. That's my girlfriend's, and then Preston had mentioned the Christmas special clone. That's what that is. It's actually an 83, but I put all the blue stuff on it. It didn't come that way. So, yep.
What's this right here?
Back to TJ.
That is a TRX 70. It's got a 160 in it, all brand new. Cart hub set up for flat track as well.
How will it do on the pavers here? Will you be able to?
It's pretty tight on this pavement.
You gonna send it?
I'll try.
Awesome. Write some wheelies for us.
We'll try.
Kenny, you got the waivers? Did you bring them today? Totally forgot. Oh, fuck. Well, if anybody dies here, we're going to drag you over the property line and say you're trespassing. Okay? So, we forgot to bring the waivers. Oh, little problem there. Yeah.
This
Is
is
yours?
This is an 84 250R with Honda Line 300 kit,
Wow.
West Coast swing arm, +4 finish line axle, the Bill's pipe.
Look at this thing, Kenny. Focus in on this thing.
Look at the speedo. That's a
Yeah.
really nice speedometer.
What's the fastest you ever gone on it?
Probably do 65 with me on it. 60,
How's the
65.
stability?
It handles very well. It's wide.
When you say it's a 300 kit, is that a cylinder or is it just
It's
a
a
piston and
Honda
board?
line, whole different Honda Line top end kit.
Wow.
It's a Honda Line big bore kit,
Cylinder head or just the jug?
whole jug.
Jug and cylinder
Yep.
head? Oh, wow.
Yep,
So it must be like night and day over a stock one, huh?
it's definitely different.
Yep, the swing arm's pretty badass too. Is that aluminum?
No, it's a West Coast. It's steel.
Steel?
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. What about this one here?
So this is my 85 250R. It's basically pretty much stock bike, just aftermarket plastics.
It's beautiful.
It's a nice little nice runner.
I love the black and red. Is that factory like that, or did you do
no,
that?
that's aftermarket. Jesse
Yeah.
Meyer makes all aftermarket plastics for these bikes. So
Wow.
that's all aftermarket plastic, and then I had DDR Slab make up a set of decals for it.
Awesome.
Recover the seat, pretty much powder coated all sorts of stuff.
Awesome.
And made it a good runner.
It's pretty badass. Dustin, what we should do is we should get Kenny a list. If you can text him or speech to text him a list of the manufacturers that make the parts for these,
Yeah.
he can post it on the like just to put like a you said a few manufacturers on here that I never heard of because
Sure.
I usually do motorcycles.
Right.
So if you can, let's put a shout out to them.
Absolutely.
on
You know, in the
on
last
there.
year, because three-wheeler racing has
This is
come
important,
back,
yeah.
and we're going to talk about that when we get to Ben, about how he made a diligent effort to get three-wheeler racing back on the track with the New England ATV Series last year, actually. Since then, there's been about 50 or 70 companies out there making new product for these things. I mean, you can get foot pegs for them, you can get all sorts of aftermarket product, especially for racing. And we'll get a list typed up on that, but you guys will be blown away by the amount of new product that's available for these older machines and how much technology's going into them.
You'll be able to watch the video of them in action later, but you really got to see it in person to see how fast these little 70s with the big bore kits go. So come to the museum October 13th and 14th. Dustin's running the Thunderdome Trike Racing Series that we have now.
Yep.
We have Ray Luce running the, he's on mini bike throwdown, what, 38 or 39?
I think we're at 38 would be the museum event, so we're at 38.
Is your Trike Racing Series independent of the
It's independent right now because it's just still in its infancy. What we're looking to do is kind of piggyback off of the things that Mini Bike Throwdown is doing, which they are really awesome about letting us partake in these events, and we're hoping for a big turnout in 2019 to branch off and do our own thing and make mini trike racing a thing here in New England. And right now we're looking for places to race and tracks to bring these machines on and put on a good show for the spectators. So.
We have a small track we call the Thunderdome that the town allowed us to race at the museum, and we'll be racing there October 13th and 14th, both the trikes and mini bikes. So if you want to get involved, just show up or give us a call.
Yep, check it out on Facebook.
What's next here? This one here? Is this one?
All right, this is my other bike. This is my flat track weekend racer. So this is full custom, basically everything. It's an 85 250R. It's got an upgraded 86 250R Lone Star swing arm, tusk axle. It's all extended about 8 inches in the rear end. It's dropped low. It's got a 4 mil long rod stroker crank engine in it.
Wow.
Thing makes about 65 horse.
Holy shit.
I sent it to Rob Selby in California. He did a great job
It's like
with
getting
the
shot out
motor
of a
build.
rocket, huh? When the sun
Yeah,
goes out?
this bike's built to go pretty fast.
Yeah.
So it's got a Kenny Roberts big bore exhaust on it.
Wow.
A 41.5 millimeter carburetor. It runs on 110 race gas.
Wow.
So, who's your tires?
Let me sniff it. Better than coffee in the morning.
Believe me, when
I love that
when
shit.
When it runs, it's nice.
What do you use for oil?
Loves it. Clots.
Clots? Kenny, look at the pipe on this. Look at something that came off a factory race bike from the 80s. And this is the
Yeah,
epitome.
those are it's built from the guys that, we're doing it back in the 80s. Rob Selby.
Could I stop you guys for...
So yeah, the exhaust looks like something that a factory team put together, and it's got the flat track tires. I noticed you got the forks reversed. Why did you do that?
No, actually, it's what they call leading and trailing.
Oh,
So
they do that on a lot of these?
That's a stock setup for.
Oh, it is? Oh, cool, because I was looking at that
so
one.
The
It looked like,
350X is actually the only version that has a leading axle.
Oh, okay.
Which means the axle is in front of the forks itself.
All right.
Trailing would be. They would be behind.
so guys, we have the equivalent of the Bob Hanna of the trike racing world, Mickey Dunlap. He was a factory rider that dominated in the 80s on these, and in 85 you rode a Honda trike also, right? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, mainly I rode the 200X for Honda in '84 full time, and first one came out in late '84. They bring bikes out, the '85 model as this one is, in late '84. So I rode the very first one of those. Just went out and raced it for the first time. So the 250R was pretty much the dominant machine in '85.
You were smoking factory racers on stock equipment, and they figured, well, this doesn't look good, so they gave you the good stuff, right?
Yeah, Honda always had the best stuff, and that's
Yeah.
just the way their factory is. They always had everything as trick as it could be. And so I went out there on a 200X that we just built the engine in it and raced against them. And first time I went out, beat them, and then the second time in a row, beat them. About the fifth or sixth time during '83 when I was racing for myself, then they started paying me and giving me win money and bikes and parts so they could use me in the win aheads.
Just to clarify, this is not local like New England racing. We're talking this is a national level, the highest level. Just like the AMA Supercross and Motocross Series today, Mickey was dominant in that arena, so he's a really talented rider. We're grateful to have you here today and put in your experience and wisdom in this. It's kind of like a lot. We don't want it to be lost, so that's why we're documenting what we have here today. What else, Kenny?
Whose bike is this?
This one? Want to move on this one? Who's this one? This is yours?
Yeah,
Tell us a little about it.
This is my 85 250R. It's pretty much stock. It came out of California with a title.
Yeah.
It's got a Paul Turner high rev pipe and Fat Boy silencer, which is old school for this. And I flat track race it. It's hardtail down to the ground.
Where do you race it?
New Hampshire Motocross. They have
Awesome.
a flat track there.
Yeah,
They run
with
Saturday
Tony
nights.
LaRusso's place.
Yeah, it's awesome. Good. They're really good to us. They really help us out with the trikes. We're one of the biggest classes up there right now.
So it's a hardtail rear end?
Yeah, I just put a hardtail right in it, took the shock out.
That's
so you
better
get it-
for so it doesn't.
Yeah, just get it as low as you can get. You
Yeah.
know, hang in those
Send it.
corners and send it. Yep.
You think you can ride it on pavers? Or
Oh,
you
we're
think-
gonna give it a try.
Okay, cool. All right, what's up with this? This one looks
Right here.
this one looks brand new.
Oh, that's him, brand new, man.
Wow.
It's 86 350. It's pretty much untouched.
It's 33 years old. How did an off-road vehicle stay this nice for 33 years?
Well, I don't think it was ridden very much. That's for sure.
How many hours or miles would you say it has on it? If you had to
Not
guess?
many. Under 100 hours. I mean.
Wow, super clean.
Yeah, I haven't really cleaned it up.
Are you gonna take it in the mud today?
Probably, yeah. Sure.
No pressure. You don't have to. We
No,
have some high and dry spots for you too. That thing's beautiful.
This is an 85 250R.
That's the stock version of the race ones they have over here, the lowered ones and stuff, right?
Yep.
So that's what it looked like when it came out of the crate.
Yeah, minus that. It's got a little bit of rust on the frame. I think it was left outside before I got it.
Yeah.
But it's got new old stock plastics, new old stock wheels.
Wow. What's a set of NOS plastics for one of these run?
Depends
your
on the
price,
day.
right? Yeah.
Could get them for $800 and could get them for 4,000.
We sold a tank and two fenders and a seat for a Christmas special. NOS, we auctioned it off and it bought $2,200.
Oh, I
for
wish
a
you had
50.
called me. I would have loved to have that.
And it ended up going to the UK. You know, so it's
Let me
unbelievable.
know next time.
Yeah. So is this yours also?
Yeah, this is 86 250R. It's pretty clean. I put new old stock rear tires on it.
Where do you
aftermarket
find the
skid plate.
NOS parts?
You know, all over.
eBay.
Random people on Craigslist.
Very cool.
Just a lot of late nights.
So this one is a again.
Got
What's your,
bone stock as well.
this one's 80.
85,
And this one's-
86. So there's.
And they're both 250s.
Yep.
What changed in the year?
I think there's like 50 differences.
I see a lot of
Small
differences,
ones, but yeah, the top clamp's black. Seats bigger.
It says ATC instead of 250R.
Yeah, and it's got more foam to it. It would have Pro Vector tires from Otsu, and then 85 will have Dunlops.
Was this a stock item?
That's a Honda line headlight guard.
Very cool.
Other
Holy
than that, bone
shit!
stock.
What is this? This looks like a 450 motocross bike with 3 wheels on it.
It's a TPC Trike.
Wow.
Stands for total piece of crap. But no, it's like
Very expensive.
Yeah,
TPC, yeah,
very
I bet.
expensive.
What's something like this cost to build?
Well
over
I
10 grand, I'm
paid
sure.
$8,500 for it, and then put a lot of money into it.
Yep.
Blew it up. Did some damage, but it's a good riding bike.
Is this one you race?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna claim to race, but you know, I take it out there every once in a while. It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's a lot to hang on to.
Thing's beautiful.
It's fully gluten free, runs on race gas, and that's about really all I know about it. It's fast.
Is that a 450 stock 450 motor, or is it?
It started life as a TRX 450,
Okay,
so it's a
yeah.
four-wheeler, and
Yep.
then TPC makes the frame, and it's got a CRF top end on it.
So it'd be similar to a motocross bike horsepower-wise, probably pulling. Well, you know what would pull on a dyno?
I don't know.
I know a stock
60
450,
maybe?
a stock 450F is on our dyno is pulling about 44, 45 horse.
This one's built up a little bit. It's pretty good. The whole motor's all fresh on it now, so.
Pretty awesome. Suspension looks to be really on point
Yeah,
too.
it's night and day for sure.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
What kind of shocks on the back here?
That's a 450.
Wow, nice. All right, and this next one here, what year is this 350X?
This is my my 1985 350X with 86 repop plastics.
Yeah.
I did some custom foot pegs on this one. I got an 18-inch rear tire on it. No change in the gearing. I decided to go with a plastic tank on this one, a little bit lighter. And I raced this one in the New England ATV series. And I'm hoping for a good winter. I can go through it and do some motor work on this one and get it a little bit more competitive. I mean, it's tough when you got to compete against something like that, but
yeah,
we're out here sending it on these old 30-year-old machines. This machine is 33 years old and still going strong on the original motor. Motor's never been apart, and she still fires on the 4th or 5th kick every day.
Typical Honda quality.
Yeah.
Seems like Honda dominated this market, huh?
Honda totally dominated this market. They invested a lot of money in advertising and research and development, far more than any of the other manufacturers, and that's probably why you don't see many of the other manufacturers here today, mostly Hondas.
Talk about this Big Red here. What's the scoop with this? This is more of a farm type machine than a race machine.
So the Big Red is the ultimate utility machine. Honda nailed it on this. This thing has a removable headlight. You can walk about 20 feet away from the bike with this headlight in your hand. It's got this entire, if you look here, this entire rear fender section will flip open just like the hood of a car, and you can get right at everything. There's a large trunk in this one. There's an auxiliary port here where you can plug in a number of different things that Honda offered you. There was a compressor, there was a spotlight, a few other goodies. And to my knowledge, this one's all original. I noticed it's got the original tires. This is a Honda line aftermarket product here. This is probably one of the nicest Big Reds I've ever seen.
What's something like this worth at retail? I mean, I would guess
this one's gotta be
$7,000 to $10,000.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I mean, where are you going to find another one that's not destroyed? You know.
These are phenomenal machines. They got a 900-pound towing capacity on these right from the factory.
Does it have a hitch on it?
Yes, it does. It's got a hitch right there. And,
wow, comes stock with a hitch.
Yeah,
so you can definitely use this tow wood, firewood, or hay bales, or
anything.
Or
and I can tell you that this machine will move more than it's rated to move. I know
yeah.
that for sure. They've got a shaft drive to a differential here. What you'll see on the internet, a lot of guys are doing. They're doing like a +2 or +4 swing arm on these, and they're doing front end extenders.
Yeah.
And they're putting 30 and 40-inch tires on these, and they're sending them into the mud. You see a lot of that down south. This machine will go anywhere. You can bury it up to the handle grips in mud, and it'll trot right out of there like a farm tractor, no problem.
Wow.
I've seen these things fully submerged and drive right out of the water, no problem. All the ATC models, the utility models, the air going into the air box comes from the steering stem here. So that's where your air comes into the motor there. And when you enter the water...
So as long as you don't go above that, you're okay?
Yeah, when you enter the water with a three-wheeler, the front end immediately comes up, and you can just wheelie through 4 or 5 feet of water, no problem.
Holy shit.
If you got to
change... enough buoyancy from the tire to lift up the front end?
That's exactly right, Ken. These
wow.
tires float, and if you need to change direction, you just kind of bounce the front end down and change direction, and then back up into a wheelie you go.
That's insane. So does the rear wheel have to be touching the bottom? Like, you can't go over 5 feet deep, right?
Yeah, the rear wheel does have to touch. However, it is pretty buoyant. It's kind of a pleasant balance between bouncing and floating and making traction to the ground. But like I said, these things are phenomenal. This thing will go anywhere that any modern day machine will go. This thing will go there, no problem.
And I see here we've got 4 350Xs here. So let's try to tell them what's the difference between these 4 350Xs, Dustin.
On these, I'm not an expert on these. My friend Preston is here. He could probably tell you more about them. Let's hear what Preston has to say. Preston, what do you know about these 350Xs
We've got 4 of a kind here.
Well, they've made them 2 years. 85, 86. The 85s have the red fenders. 86 have the white. These are a great all-around machine for woods riding. They weren't built to race. Some people do race them. The frames do have some flaws that surface over time after some abuse, but they're a really nice machine. 4-stroke, the biggest displacement 4-stroke for a long time, and but they, there were rumored to have 87 models available, like the 250R, but they never hit the general public. But a great machine to learn on and ride on, and I got my first when I was 15, and it was a great machine for an adolescent up through an adult. And
most of the guys that ride these, is this something that they did since they were kids? Because obviously they're not making new ones, so it's something you've always done.
Yeah,
I guess, right?
I would say so. I mean, that's where my passion comes from, but I think there is another generation coming up that
The seed was planted at a young age with you
Yep.
guys, and you're passing the torch to your kids and
Absolutely.
everybody else that you're doing the race series with, right?
Yeah, a lot of times on the racetrack you'll see third and fourth generation guys racing. Now, Ohio has the largest turnout for kids. I just saw my friend Brian Raffa posted a video last night. They had 12 kids racing in one class. They had another dozen guys racing a 200 class. There's a hardtail class with about 25 or 30 guys racing.
And in the Northeast, you got New Hampshire Speedway doing the flat track series. You
Yeah,
got-
New Hampshire is green light all the way. They love us up there. They give us the flat track first, even before the bikes and everybody.
And we
get
got
a very large
the
turnout there.
70 race series at the museum right here in Connecticut. So if you want to come watch these guys rip, come on down October 13th and 14th. To the next one, another beautiful 252 stroke. 86 looks like to me, or 85?
That's 85.
85. Is that all original besides the pipe, or is that modified?
It looks like it has aftermarket plastics on it. That pipe is aftermarket. The tires are original, and that's a nice, very nice rider.
These are twins, right? 250R?
Yes.
Are
they're
all
both
of
85s.
these trikes going to be ridden today, or just select ones?
I would say some are probably too nice to ride in
Yeah.
the owner's eyes, so they might.
Yeah. If you got 10 grand in your trike restoration, you don't want to drag it through the mud. Do you guys call them trikes or ATCs?
Yeah, trikes,
Yeah,
ATCs.
okay. All right, so this 350X is similar to the other ones we just went over, right?
Yep.
And then what's this one?
85.
Another ATC 250R?
That's an 86.
Anything significant about that one?
Some, a degree different rake. Thickness of the seat foam is different.
Yeah, I
Very
noticed it was a
subtle
little
changes.
thicker, yeah.
Yeah,
And this,
different
what's this?
headlight
Looks like a racing one, obviously.
This is Ben Webb's racer. Ben Webb's racer.
Ben, how you doing?
Not too bad, sir.
Are you
How
the crazy bastard that's going to send this thing on the 120 footer?
I don't know about all that, but we'll check it out.
Is it him?
Yeah, this
He's the
guy,
one?
you definitely want to talk to Ben here. What Ben did is he's a trike enthusiast. What he decided to do one day was reach out to the New England ATV series and say, look, there's a lot of us that really enjoy riding these and we'd like to put them on the racetrack. What can you do for us? And Ben is actually the one responsible for getting us in the New England ATV series. He single-handedly did that on his own. And
Are you racing a Jolly Roger with these?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Do you do the motocross track too?
Yes, we do.
Do
Yeah.
you, you send the Intimidator on these?
We have not done the Intimidator yet.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Yeah, we could.
I don't blame you. That thing, that's like a do or die type of jump,
Yeah,
you know?
No, we could. We just hasn't been a necessary thing,
Well,
you know.
once the first guy does it, then everybody's going to have to do it to keep up with him, right?
Right. Well,
Could
well,
be
you
a-
see, one big jump like that takes so much out of you. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
come up
Yeah,
short,
yeah, you're
you-
dead
you
meat,
lose-
basically.
You're right. You lose 20% of your energy on
Yeah.
one jump. So.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot to talk about on this bike. There's a lot of aftermarket product here. This is probably some of the best stuff going and some of the most modern technology.
I see you have a spacer plate on the cylinders. You got a stroker crank in this?
Yes, sir. Yep, that's BDT Motorsports built the bike. It's a 363 with
Holy
a
shit.
4mm stroker.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did you ever dyno it?
No, I have not dynoed it. I believe they have.
What did they
it's
say it was
roughly
pulling?
around 65.
That's insanely fast.
It's
So it's
insanely
it's
fast.
almost well, it's a big bore because it's halfway from a 250 to almost halfway to the 500
Yep,
class.
it's a big boy. Yep, with a handmade pipe.
And it's probably ported, polished, everything else.
It is, yes, sir.
What kind of carb you got on it?
That is a 41.5mm air striker.
Wow, totally badass.
And-
Beautiful.
and Ben
Are you
created-
smoking everybody on this thing or what?
Well, on the motocross track, you know, that's tough. It's about momentum. So even a 250cc cylinder can be competitive.
Yep.
So
It's pretty much all the rider at that point,
it's
right?
all the rider. It takes a lot out of you, but you know we're winning most of the whole shots, and we're
How's your season going so far?
We're doing pretty good. We're front runners almost every race, on the podium almost every race.
How you
so.
doing in the championship points?
Third right now.
Right.
We've had some electrical issues.
So only
earlier
2
in the
guys you have to
season.
take out.
That's it. If you're not the fastest on the track, take
Yeah.
out the guy that
That's
is.
all. That's what I
right?
used to do.
Not only is Ben responsible for getting getting three-wheelers back on the racetrack in the New England ATV Series, but he also has a page here called ATC Animals. How many members you got there?
I'd say roughly around 19,000
And
three-wheeler
this
enthusiasts.
isn't for the thin-skinned. This page is a rated R page for some of the most hardcore enthusiasts out there. If you're on the page, you probably already know this, but you know, if you got thick skin, go ahead and check it out. This is where some of the toughest and most brute three-wheeler enthusiasts are. Is going to be on the ATC Animals page for sure. And again, we want to thank Ben Webb for getting new three-wheelers into the Point Series and into the New England ATV Series. That's just huge for the community. And I think one thing that needs to be recognized here is that Ben did this for us, and we all appreciate that. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be competing in the New England ATV Series.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks for that, Ben.
No problem.
We appreciate
And thanks for coming today. Glad to
Thanks
have
for
you here.
having us. Definitely.
So, hey, tell Tony Ken said hello when you get
I
up to
will,
Jolly Rogers.
For sure.
Tony's a legend.
Yeah,
In
definitely.
New England
I
racing.
remember watching him at Bull Run back in the day.
He's a real deal, man. He led the Southwick National for probably 25 minutes of a 30-minute moto back in the 90s. The guy can really ride. Which one is this? Here, is this another?
This is my bike.
Okay.
This is completely opposite of what his is.
Okay.
This is all new old stock fenders, new old stock foot pegs, new old stock shifter, new old stock kickstarter, original tires. I mean, it doesn't get much more original than this.
This is about the way it came out of the box
Right out of the box.
19,
I mean,
is it
there was
85? Right? It's got
Yep,
thinner
it's
seat,
85.
yeah.
I think this is the most original bike that we've got here today. I think this is like you guys are saying right off the showroom floor. This is what you look at.
What are these worth today? And what does it cost to buy into the sport to get like a decent running one? Not a $20,000 race bike like that, but something in between. You know, bone stock and a typical.
I would
one.
say, if you do your due diligence and you really look, you can find them for $2,000.
$2,000.
But it's not going to have the stock tires, not going to have the stock exhaust. Fenders might be cracked. Like those rear fenders, it's the sky's the limit on whatever someone wants to pay for them.
I own the New England Motorcycle Museum. We've sold over 1,500 vintage motorcycles in the last 4 years through Kaplan Cycles, my buy-sell trade business, mostly overseas, some to the UK, Japan, everywhere, mostly all in the southern states in the United States here. And what seems to be the common theme, no matter whether it's a 28 BMW or a 88 Honda, is the closer to stock they are, the more valuable they are. It's ironic, like people will pick apart a machine that's got 3 things that are not stock, they'll notice it. So for the long term, this type of a restoration is going to have more value. Obviously, if you're racing like he is, you need more horsepower, you're going to get smoked. So there's two totally different worlds. And there's something to be said for the modified bikes too. But as far as retaining value for a classic, the closer to stock it is, the better off you are, and the more the parts are NOS, OEM.
Yep.
So nice job on that. It's a beauty.
Thank you.
This is pretty badass.
This is all me. I'm the non-OEM guy. It's Meyer Plastics, 26-inch tires on ITP Delta rims.
Totally
Hey,
badass.
before you get into it, let me introduce this guy. This is Vinny Staffa. He's admin of the
Vinny.
Honda Hoarders page.
Yep.
He's a man.
He created it in the beginning of this year, and in 9 months he went from 0 members to, what do you got, 22,000?
23,000 now, yep.
That's absolutely remarkable.
Big following now, yep.
How did you do that, Vinny, in less than a year?
Kind of just word of mouth. We were giving bikes away for free to little kids that needed them, so I think that spread it out big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another
That's
cool
fantastic.
thing that he did is he reached out to the company that makes these plastics and said, look, what's it going to take to get these plastics to be reproduced in a
shout
large
out Jesse
scale?
Meyer, Meyer Plastics in California. He
That's
let me put a
huge.
group run together to get custom colors available. So
When I heard that
Really hooked us up.
when I heard that the two things before I even met you that I heard you're at that point you're at about 20,000 people on your page, and you had got Meyer to fire up the molds and start producing these things. I was like, wow, this kid Vinny, he's a mover and shaker, man. He's making it happen. How old are you, Vinny?
28.
28 years old, and he's got the manufacturers making plastics for Trikes again. So these two guys, Dustin and Vinny, are kind of like the spiritual heads of this movement, at least in Connecticut. And I think they're probably known worldwide at this point through your page.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we
sure.
got friends all over from networking for sure.
What, like in the UK, Japan,
UK,
everywhere?
Canada, all over the place. Yeah.
That's awesome. Great job, man. I'm really excited to be part of this. Honored to
I
help
appreciate it,
document
too.
this movement here, because you guys are on the move, and it's guys like you and guys like Mickey that who were the legends of this sport that are going to allow this to be passed down to the next generation, passing the torch down. So
that's what we're hoping to do.
How old are you, Dustin?
I'm 33 years old, and my passion with trikes began about 3 years ago due to my friend Vinny here. I was looking for an ATC 70 for my daughter, and he happened to have one. I think I welded something for him, and he gave me a roller, and I threw a motor in it, and I was instantly hooked. And ever since then, I sold off all my dirt bikes and got into three-wheelers, and now here we are. I'm up to 11 of them now, and the fever just won't stop.
Fully addicted.
And because of Vinny here, I don't think I would have even known about three-wheelers, but now it's
I'm glad I got you into it. And I just want to quickly shout out Eric Hancock. Tore this thing down when it was stock, built it from ground up, painted everything. He owns Shade Tree Power Sports in Connecticut.
Is that the original color of the
No, that's aftermarket. That's Meyer. Travis Gisclair in Louisiana painted my tank and my forks to match the plastics.
I mean, it has a military look to it. You know, it's
yeah, that's exactly what we were going for there.
It's nasty. This is the kind of thing. If Honda made these today, they'd sell them by the boatload.
Exactly.
So you know, I think it's a total scam how the manufacturers got shut down on the trikes, and you guys know more about that than I do. But I think a young guy like you and Dustin, if you put your heads together, you might be able to get them to bring it back. You know, how badass would that be? That you can use for utility and go out and have a blast and go mudding on it, because this thing will clearly go anywhere with these tires on it. I mean, it's just, if they came out with something like this in this color, I guarantee you they'd sell them by the boatload.
I've seen up this high in mud, and I've seen Vinny standing on the seat rocking it, and have the thing drive right out.
So you had pointed out that they breathe up high right here, from here, right?
Yeah, up there, right by the tank. So as long as you keep it below that breather, you're good.
Great job, Vinny. Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks
for coming today. So, what's this? This is
my 86 125M. This is a 2-year model only, 86 and 87. This a lot of people call it the Mini Big Red because it's got 4-speed with reverse semi-automatic. It's the only mini trike with reverse.
When I become president, every kid's going to get one of these.
Awesome.
It's be national law. Imagine how much fun they could have on that. But it probably gets hours of fun from a gallon of gas.
Exactly.
Is that another 125?
No, this is an 83 185S, and this is set up for flat track racing. I bought this a year ago and sold it to a guy who lives down in North Carolina who races flat track and did this to it. When I owned it, it was all original.
Oh, wow.
So he raced it a couple times, posted it for sale. Couldn't help myself, I bought it back. And I'm just taking delivery of it today. So
that's awesome. So it found its way. It's like a homing pigeon.
Yep.
You sent it out and it came back hopped up. That's a good deal. Hopefully you don't have to pay too much more to get it back than what you sold it for.
So this is the last year they made the 185S. I've got the first year they made the 185 down there, but we'll get to that. But these are great all-around machines. 83 they had, a whopping 1.5 inches of travel in the front. Everything else was a hard, solid fork. But these are hardtail, so hardtail flat track racing is what these are kind of popular for now.
If your back is good, that's okay. But
yeah.
So that's awesome.
This is an 87 Big Red. This is the last year for the Big Red. Started in 82 to 84 were 200 cc. This is 250 with rear suspension, little suspension in the front. But these are great all-around machines. 250 cc with reverse, and a great utility machine. This has original plastic, original
That's got
tires.
the hitch on it too, like the other one.
Yep. Awesome. Storage compartment. And these headlights, they made them detachable. That was one of the features. You had 20-foot of cord. You could set it up and start your campfire or whatever.
Nice.
Before everybody had a cell phone with a flashlight on it.
Nice. Here's an 84.
This is an 84. So this is where it started for me. My dad had an 84 Big Red and 84 TRX 200, the four-wheeler equivalent, when I was a kid. So I used to bomb around on these. This isn't the one I had, unfortunately, but it's a great example of all original tires, great condition original. So
if you're wondering what ATC stands for, clearly on this tank, it all-terrain cycle. Very cool. Yep. Is that a factory graphic on that?
That is. That's an
What year is that one?
That's a 77.
Wow.
ATC 90.
What was the first year they made them?
1970.
Oh wow!
So
that's a real classic.
That's original tires, balloon tires with
Those
an
are the original
integrated
tires.
hub. Yes.
Like the original OEM factory tires.
Correct.
Holy moly! How did that happen? How'd they last 40 years?
I have no idea. I had to drive a whopping 15 minutes from where I live to go get that one.
Wow! And it came just like this?
Yep.
With original tires.
I cleaned it up, and that's it.
Thing's beautiful. What's something like this worth?
Restored, in nice shape. 2,500 and
How
up.
about the way it sits?
Probably about $1,500.
Would
the way
you
it sits.
I'd like you to bring this to the museum for opening day if you're available, 13th and 14th. I'd love to display it. It's
If
really
I can,
cool.
I will.
It's a
Yep,
beautiful
I would
piece.
love to. But yeah, so that's a 77. That's a 70.
I like that both of them there.
Yep. And these turned into the 110s.
That's the first year they made them.
Correct.
And it's the original with original tires.
Yes. Yep.
If you ever decide to sell it, call me.
Okay, yep.
I'd love to have that in the museum.
Yeah, they came in 4 colors. This is Aquarius blue. They had a yellow color, a green color, and red.
It's
And
just
then,
fantastic. The history is awesome. This is what started it all. The 1970. This started the whole obsession with trikes.
So this is a 1980 185. This is the last year of the round headlight. It's quite a bit bigger than the 83 version that we looked at down there.
Yeah.
But this is a 1 year only 185. After that, they went to 185S. I don't know what the S stands for. 1980, correct.
And the other one was
83.
And it's smaller than this?
Correct.
Shorter wheelbase and everything?
Yep.
They downsized it a bit.
But this is the only year they came in orange, kind of like this. So
1 year
it's kind
model,
of a unique
huh?
thing.
That's a rare piece.
And then this is an 87 250SX. So this is like, a Big Red got together with a 350X and had a baby. This is the SUV of the three-wheeler world. So
awesome.
That's an 87. That's an 85.
Yeah.
They only made them 3 years, 85, 86, 87. But these are great. A little bit faster than the Big Red, but you can still pull a trailer and do work around your yard. Racks were an option. And you get front rack, headlight guard. These two don't have that, but great sport utility. And
awesome. Dustin, if anybody wants to take photos here and tag where they are,
yes.
If you type the Kaplan compound, it'll come up. So you
Okay.
can tag where you are. If anybody wants to do photos on Facebook or for anything along that to document this,
Awesome.
I'd encourage everybody to do that. Instagram, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't even
yeah.
know how to use those too, but.
87.
What's this?
No, if they were to make a 250R in 87, it would have looked like that, correct?
similar to this, yeah. This is one, I've had this since 97.
What is it?
And it's a 85 250R. I bought it when I was in high school and did as a 17-year-old, did a restoration on it. And it had white plastic when I bought it. I didn't realize it didn't come white, so I bought white to put on it. And the frame was supposed to be dark blue, but my buddy didn't tell me he didn't have dark blue, so he did baby blue for me. But I have intentions to restore this one, but I've had this one over 20 years, and it's...
No hurry.
Yeah, no hurry.
It doesn't sound like it's going anywhere. It's
Yep.
you've had it since you were in high school, so that's pretty cool. Is this one yours also?
No, this one is Chris.
Chris, tell us about the Big Red here.
It's just a stock 85 250 ES,
Yeah.
Mayer plastics. Nothing overly special.
That's a 250?
Yep.
They came in 350 also, right?
No, just
Just
250.
250?
Yep.
Is that a 1 year? How many years did they make that one?
85 and 86 and 87.
Cool. You gonna send it on this today?
We're gonna try.
Awesome. What's this right here?
This thing, you actually want to cover this one pretty good. This is my buddy Mark Palmieri's. Where is he? Mark, come on over here.
Mark, how you doing? Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Tell me a little bit about this. This is pretty cool looking.
So it started off as a Baja Storm 125 quad, and from the factory they already put the steering neck in it because the steering column runs through it.
Yep.
So all you have to do is just unbolt from the pegs because it had a Nerf bar assembly and that was all one piece.
Yep.
The whole front end pulls right off and you could throw any front end you want on it, like even a pit bike front end, and it's a three-wheeler right off the
Those
bat.
are Marzakis on the front?
No, they're not. They're
I was
just a
gonna say-
sticker.
I was gonna say,
I
those
wish
are
they
expensive.
were. Oh, yeah, I wish they were.
That's top shelf
But they're
stuff.
fully adjustable to my weight, like compression, rebound, all that. And
What are they off of, the forks?
I actually bought them off a guy on one of the ATC 70 pages. His
Yeah.
name's Richard Maestas out of
Uh-huh.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, he custom made the axle,
Yeah.
the triple trees, the front wheel and wheel hub I got from Gordon Spangler.
Okay.
And that allowed me to convert it to run disc brakes and all that. And for the motor, I have a Zongshen 5-speed E-Start.
Yeah.
It's a 190.
Looks
And
brand
thing-
new.
Yeah, it's a day old.
Oh,
I
there you go.
Yeah, the wires are
I
hanging
called
and
that one.
everything. I just got it all bolted up yesterday. I took it out for the first run yesterday, and it's amazing.
This machine here has a lot of great examples of what's available to the guys in the mini trike market. You can buy all this whole front end setup is available off the shelf. You can buy a lot of these products here on this bike are available to the mini trike community for the guys that are building suspension trikes. Take a look here because you can buy these triples. You can do a lot with these lot of product here that's available as new product is something I wanted to cover moving forward in the movement, that if you guys want to start building three-wheelers from scratch, start getting pit bikes and start getting mini quads and start making it happen, because there's a tremendous amount of stuff out there.
What's the best way to get a hold of you guys to get support on doing that?
There's a couple pages on Facebook. There's a page called New England Mini Riders. There's also another page called ATC 70s.
There's ATC Animals.
ATC Animals is another good page to get involved.
Is this video going to be on those channels, like shared to those channels?
I feel strongly that it will today. Yes, I think a lot of people are gonna. There's a lot of people from those pages here.
Okay,
and,
awesome. How about Honda holders? You didn't mention Vinny's page.
Vinny,
or is that an automatically?
I mean,
it kind of goes without saying. Yeah, Honda holders has a strong presence here today. And they're always going to be one of the landmark pages for anything to do with three-wheeler.
Dustin, before we take these and trash them in the mud, and I know you said for some of them won't work that well, but I'd like to do a little test run here and do a few hot laps around here, get the ball rolling, get some people started.
Yeah, let's do
it.
And
obviously, you guys you guys race together without killing each other, but with all these expensive trikes here, I'd like to leave the trikes here so they're part of the video. And let you guys start sending it around. We're ready. Around here.
We can make that happen.
And we can start. We can do a start right there. So it's like a downhill start.
Yeah.
And we'll do like 3-lap races or something like that.
Pumped. Let's do it.
If it works out, if you guys like it and it seems to be working, I think we should do a dash for cash and take a collection and do like a 3-lap race. And whoever wins gets the cash. The dash for cash, baby. Woo! It's about to get real, folks. It's about to get real. Shit. Right about now.